What's up, scholars? Welcome back to another video. We're talking about One Piece chapter 11-13. I'm not okay. Everything's fine. Everyone is fine. Oh no, when I catch you. Oh no. Suffice to say, this chapter left me in shambles with this chapter has so much to it. There's so much going on in this chapter. I am not okay with like anything that's happening right now. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I mean, you have some of the moments happening in this chapter. You have one character in particular getting very, very hurt. And then we get a bombshell, an absolute bombshell at the end of this chapter. And now we gotta wait 2 weeks? It says next chapter coming out in 14 days. We gotta wait 2 weeks? First of all, I will say, the cover page, I absolutely love the cover page. It is beautiful, and I love Robin playing chess, and you have all the Straw Hats as different chess pieces. I love that Sanji and Zoro are knights. You have Jinbei and Frankie as castles, Chopper as different pawns, Luffy is the king, Nami is the queen, and you have Usopp and Brook as bishops. And I love it. I love this cover art so much. So yes, the transponder snail ended up being a decoy, and a lot of people's theories were right. What the Elder is looking at in that building, in that lab, is Vegapunk's brain, like his actual brain, and the scale of it, the actual scale when you're looking at it, like just looking at it in comparison to the Five Elder, like when he's standing on already a second platform, there's a third platform, and then this giant dome with Vegapunk's brain inside it. Just massive in scale, huge. And that's Vegapunk's brain. That's what's in there doing all this. And Vegapunk's message ends up continuing, and we get the first part of Vegapunk's message in this chapter. But we have some check-ins with some places that we haven't seen in a while. First of all, we go back to Sierra Village. We see Kaya and the kids, which is so cute. Kaya looks great. I haven't seen her in a hot minute, and she looks like she's doing great, and she knows who Dr. Vegapunk is, of course, because she studies medicine. So she's just like, yeah, we're just gonna sit here, chill, listen to this message that he's gonna give to us. We see Laboon and Crocus in Twin Capes, and we see some other places around the world that we had visited, either during like the 2-year split or other places like that. We get some check-ins. We also, this is skipping ahead a little bit, but also when Vegapunk starts telling everybody like this message is gonna air once my heart stops beating, we get Caesar, and it looks like Judge. It's Judge in the background. Caesar and Judge being mad that Vegapunk bit the bullet, because they're like, we are here to dethrone you and we haven't even gotten the chance to. What's going on? So we're getting a lot of interesting perspectives of who's all listening to Vegapunk's message, and once people are figuring out that like he's dead giving this message, it makes them start to speculate, because they're like, well, the last we heard, he was with the Straw Hats. He was being held hostage by the Straw Hat crew. So what's going on? Skellybird did not like being tricked, because Vegapunk did trick him, and there's no transponder snail in sight of where the message is coming from, and they can't blow up the lab. So he goes on a little bit of a rampage, a little temper tantrum, if you will, and starts flying around while York is trying to figure out where Vegapunk would have hidden the real one. And then finally, we get back to Sanji. I'm so mad because this was treated so casually. And I'm so mad because it's like, no, this isn't just something casual you can do to us, Oda. This isn't just a casual thing that you can let happen and then not come back to it and just let us not know what happened. Like, you can't do that. He did, and that's why I'm angry because he did, and he can't do that. We get Sanji, and his little sensor's going off. He's like, hey, Bonnie needs help. He's going to Bonnie, and I will say, I was right. Last chapter, when I was talking about predictions for fights, I was thinking Sanji would face up against the horse guy. I wish I was wrong. You know, maybe if I wasn't so stressed out about so many other things in my life right now, I wouldn't be as stressed about this chapter as I am. But I am. I am stressed about a lot of things, and I am stressed about this chapter. And I'm not okay. Bonnie is being cornered, and my goodness, I clearly misscaled the horse guy. Like, just the sheer size of him. Because, like, when he cornered Bonnie in the last chapter, like, he looked very big and imposing and very intimidating, but I didn't realize how big he actually was. Like, this guy is huge. Like, he didn't look that big in the other chapters, and now he's like giant. So the skeleton horse guy is bearing down on Bonnie. Frankie's trying to step in to protect her, and then here comes Sanji, kicks the crap out of this elder, like kicks him in the chin, which gotta hurt. But even when, like, this is the size thing that just caught me really off guard for some reason. I don't know if this happened to y'all, but it happened to me. When Sanji kicks the elder in the face, like, Sanji is like this big to the elder. Like, he's like tiny in proportion to the elder's actual size. I did not realize how huge this skeletal horse guy is. And then, because the elder can't just have, oh, I have a sword in my hand, I'm gonna use the sword to fight in my giant horse form, or I have these hooves I can use to fight too. No, I'm gonna transform my head. I'm gonna transform my head into this massive skeletal clumpy horse thingy and chomp and bite. That happened so fast. And then it's just like Sanji kicks him, and then it's like immediately after that, chomp. Chomped. Like, and it's not even like and it's on fire. The horse head's on fire. So not only is Sanji getting chomped with these skeletal bone teeth in his ribs, he's got fire too. And it's right in his stomach. I have been so worried for Sanji for like the past 5 chapters. And this is what I get. This is what I get for worrying about him. This is what I get. Sanji's... And the fact that it happened so quickly and it was treated so casually. And then Sanji gets tossed. They catch Vegapunk falling, but nobody's there to catch Sanji? Nobody's there to catch Sanji? We don't know where he is. Like, after we see him fall out of this horse's mouth, we don't see where he lands. We don't see anybody catching him. He's just gone. Where's... When I was reading this for the first time, I literally had to put my phone down and go into another room. Because Sanji doesn't let Vegapunk get chopped, of course. He lets himself get hit, tosses Vegapunk gets caught, and then, again, talking about how huge this horse guy is, which makes me even more concerned for Sanji because, like, skeletal head, bone thing, teeth this size, That's gonna leave a lot of damage on my boy. That's not good. That's not good. And it takes two giants, two of them, Oimo and Kashi. It takes two of them to hold down this elder, and he tosses Sanji out of his mouth. And guess what? After that, we don't see him. Where does Sanji land? We don't see him land anywhere. We all we see is Bonnie doing her distorted future and growing in size to attack the elder. That's all we see. If something happens to Sanji, I am dropping this. I'm dropping this manga. I'm not reading it anymore. But that's not even the, that's just one of the big moments, because then we get Spider Guy cornering the other parts of the Straw Hat, and he sees Nico Robin, and Robin recognizes his voice from the one that was talking to Clover from Ohara, and she recognizes, she knows that it's him, and she lets everybody know, like, this is a 5 elder, this is one of the elders. And then he's like, oh, well, Akainu failed to kill you. Everybody's failed to kill you. I'm going to do it here. And I love everybody's response. The response when Nami shouts out to everyone to protect Robin, and then Nami dives, grabs Robin and shields her while using her baton to like protect them. And then Brook is attacking, Usopp is attacking, and you have Chopper getting impaled by one of the little spider needle things, but he's like puffed up enough. I don't know if it's hurt him or not, but Chopper took the blow to protect Robin. He took the hit. I know it's like his total defense thing, but it's like, it's a 5 elder. Is that gonna hurt Chopper? Is Chopper sustaining a lot of injuries through this attack? I mean, that panel is amazing and it's beautiful, and I love it so much. It is fantastic. It's a beautiful panel, and I love it because it really shows the heart of these Straw Hats, and especially them, and them protecting Robin so just effortlessly and so readily. It's so beautiful to see, but it hurts at the same time because they're not in a good position. None of them are in a good position. And that's not even the worst, because when Vegapunk is talking and he's talking about the people who could have killed him, he doesn't specify who, because he's like, I'm not here to talk about good or evil. And then he says, I'm not trying to convince you that their intent is evil, because I understand too little about him to begin with. Is him referring to Imu? I always, for some reason, thought Imu was a woman, but it's never been confirmed. That's just a theory. Is Imu him? Like, is that who Vegapunk is referencing? Is he referencing one of the elders? Is he referencing somebody else? But, it feels like it's gotta be Imu, because when he says that, and then Spider Guy gets really angry and he says Vegapunk, and then that's when he goes to really attack the Straw Hats, because he's like, I don't have time to mess with y'all, I gotta stop this message. So it feels like that is implied to maybe be Imu? I don't know. But then we end this chapter with the absolute bombshell with Vegapunk saying the world as we know it will sink into the sea. And we get that image of like the underwater right after that, and it just, oh my gosh, that just brings up so much. And I'm thinking back to Fishman Island with Noah's Ark, and Poseidon being Shirahoshi, and the letter from Joy Boy that was under like that was down there. All of those key pieces that have been placed, and then you have Sky Island up above, and the weird weather patterns, and like how the ocean has shot islands into the sky. So there's so many parts of the story laid out that could be taken as hints or clues to this. And I know I have a friend does this. You had that theory that, you know, that was a possibility. You were right, my friend. That was exactly what happened here. I mean, we don't know to the extent, and I am like super excited to know what happens now, because if it sinks into the sea, does that potentially mean that the lost king, or that first kingdom sunk into the sea, and then its remains, or something, are still out there? Maybe it sank, or maybe it was forced to sink, or something. But I mean, the implications of that is wild, because the world as we know it is going to sink to the sea. So it's not just a couple islands here and there, it's every island, every place in the world, on all parts of the seas, are going to sink. All of it is going to sink. I mean, we don't know to what extent. We don't know if it has to do with like maybe like currents, because in Water 7, part of Water 7 was flooded and put underwater during those torrential storms. In Wano, we've seen this underwater part of Wano that has been hidden and covered up because the borders have been closed and there's so much water, it's hidden and buried underneath the sea. And you know, of course you got Fishman Island, and there's so much hinting. There's been so much hinting at something underwater and things under the water that holds a lot of importance, which the One Piece, Laugh Tale was originally above water, but what if Laugh Tale has sunk to the bottom? What if Laugh Tale has gone under the sea and that's where the One Piece is? Or could the One Piece have been something on Laugh Tale, but it's something you have to go into to get? Like there's like a big well or a hole. So, I don't know. Something. I mean, it does, I think, relate to what happened in the First Kingdom 800 years ago during the Blake history, of course, because the elders were saying that York had told them that Vegapunk had picked up where Ohara had left off. He had carried on Ohara's research and their will, essentially. So it's got to be tied to all of that. I'm not sure how much, I'm not sure how deeply it's all tied, but I am so curious to see how that's going to work if everything is going to sink into the sea. Because does that mean new islands are going to rise up? Is that going, like, how is that going to change just the fabric of the world? How is there a way to stop it? Is, you know, what does that entail, and what does that entail for our devil fruit users who have to be on land or on a ship in order to survive because they can't swim? And if everything is sinking, that kind of spells bad news for them. Lots of speculation here, and now we gotta wait, and I gotta worry for 2 weeks about Sanji. Like, I'm 2 weeks to find out more about what's gonna happen to the world, to find out what's happening with our Straw Hats, and to continue to lose my sanity is 2 weeks. It's fine. But that is my review for this chapter. I love some of the character work that we're getting in here. I am very worried and upset about some of the things that are happening to our characters. We didn't see Luffy at all this chapter. We didn't see Zoro or Jinbei at all this chapter. There's a lot of things are moving around, and I'm very nervous to see what lies ahead, because now that Vegapunk's message is actually starting, I think the elders are going to become even more desperate than they already are, and that's going to turn the tides even further against us, and I'm not really looking forward to that. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you want to check out my other videos, please go check out my page. Patreon always gets videos early, so if you want to see this video before it hits YouTube, be sure to go check out my Patreon. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time, scholars. Bye!